Well, hello there, Team Replay, and welcome to another edition of Let's Get Physical. No, 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 hold on. Let's get visible, visible. I want to get visible. That was too funny. Okay, it's not about getting physical. Although it is, of all the days to mess up that song and say, let's get physical instead of let's get visible, which is what we're all about. Today is the day because today I have joining with me in a few minutes a good friend of mine who's all about running and sports performance. And so I think it was fitting for me to mess up the theme song for today. But anyways, back to what I was trying to do at the beginning. Hello there, I'm Laura Connor, your partner in crime in helping you to get visible so that you can increase your impact, increase your influence, attract the clients that you want, open up doors that you never thought were possible, and just really separate yourself from your mission. Because nobody, hardly ever, really is taking that time to increase their visibility. So today's going to be your day, and today's also the day that we're going to learn a little bit about sports performance and running and our young people who are excelling in sports, because my good friend's going to be on to talk. But before he comes on, I just want to say, what's happening, Mark? I caught you. Of course, I'm glad I caught you today. I'm early, a little bit earlier than last night. Good to have you here, Mark. Thank you for joining in. And please, if you're listening, if you're live on LinkedIn or Facebook or YouTube, say your name, tell me where you're tuning in from, because I'd like to know. And when you do, you are going to be entered into my $200 hotel savings card drawing, which tomorrow I'm going to draw like for 4 names because I keep forgetting to get my bag of names. But comment and you'll be entered in my draw tomorrow. All right. Now I think it's time for me to get right into the meat and potatoes of this. And I'm going to bring on my friend, and then I'm going to introduce him, and then we're going to chat. Are you ready for it? Let's chat. Let me see if I can bring my friend on here. Okay, I think he's there, but I think you haven't turned on your mic yet. There you go. All right. So listen, your mic is on. Your mic is on. Now, I want to introduce my good friend. I'm going to have him introduce himself in a minute. But I got to tell you, this journey on visibility, I have been learning it for myself and for my son who's playing basketball, how important it is to get visible, how important it is to excel at your craft. And this amazing dude of mine, Randy Brookes extraordinaire, I found him on LinkedIn. And so let him introduce himself. Randy, what's happening, my friend?
What's going on, everybody? How's everybody in the
What's
social
happening?
media world? How you doing, Laura? Haven't seen you in a few weeks. Looking good with a beautiful smile.
I know. Thank you.
Thing.
It's Colgate, or is it Close Up? Which one of them? All right. Now, Randy, I keep telling everybody everywhere. I am twice a day, sometimes 3, and flossing and mouthwash. You know how to do it. I tell everyone so often that Randy, I love how we met, and I love everything that you do, but I don't think everybody knows what you do. So please introduce yourself, Randy.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, we met over LinkedIn, first of all. It was very organic and natural, and it's kind of tied into what we're talking about today. So I am Coach Randy Brookes, and I do have a sports performance company called Running for Your Life. We've been around for about 10 years, and we work out of the GTA area. I myself live in Durham, so a lot of the bulk of the business is there, but I do travel in the surrounding areas. And the main concern for us and the main point of action is to work with athletes, whether you're a beginner, somebody mid-level, or even someone who's professional. We're working with athletes to help them enhance their skill set, and our main thing is running. My background is I was a track and field athlete, and we work on the running mechanics, all those things that help athletes become more agile, more explosive, more, reactive to various sports scenarios. And it's been a great thing. We love working with the young athletes, getting them confident, helping them create a pathway to success, whether it's in the sports or just creating a pathway where they're more confident in life.
Well, I'm so glad you're here, Randy. A few years ago, right during COVID, we did a little video interview together because we had met you two as a lot of my friends because we had met, as you said, on LinkedIn. And
Correct.
what stood out to me, yeah, what stood out to me about you is that you were, I like to say LinkedIn is a blue ocean, a deep blue ocean compared to other platforms as
Okay.
far as being able to stand out. And you didn't know me from Adam. I didn't know you,
Hmm.
but you were posting on LinkedIn about your team and how you have them training and improving
Hmm.
their running. And
Yeah.
as I said, my son Kendall, he is in basketball, and the
Right.
challenge that he had was his running mechanics. They're a little bit off. They're a little bit.
Right.
Um,
Yes.
and while I was and while I was here on LinkedIn doing for, here for work, I saw your posts and I didn't see any other trainers' posts. You were there posting, meeting a need that I had. And because you were in
Right.
a blue sea, nobody else was there, you immediately stuck out.
Yeah.
Immediately stuck out. And
All
that's how
right.
I ended up bringing my son to you. Yeah. And 3 years later, I mean, he's off to school now, but up until he left, he was
Yep.
working with you. So
Right.
it
Right.
just shows how powerful LinkedIn is. So now tell 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 everybody a little bit about. I liked working with you because of the what you were doing with my son, and he plays
Right.
basketball. And here's the thing: I
Correct.
don't think a lot of people think that they need to have more than one. If they're in basketball, a lot of parents think that all they have to do is get a basketball coach and
Hmm.
focus everything on basketball. And if they're in soccer, all it is how to improve your game with soccer. But they don't think about the running aspect of it. Talk
Right.
a little bit about that because I'm sure a lot of parents that are tuning in on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube are might be of that mindset. Drop some game with why they should consider hiring a sports performance coach like you for their young athlete.
All right. Let me drop some game. But before doing so, you said I was in the deep blue sea. So what sea creature was I to you? If you had to put a little metaphor, was I an octopus, a shark, a tadpole? I mean, I'm curious.
You don't even want me.
See, this is why Laura and I get along. We be telling little
You
jokes and
really want
stuff.
me
We
to
get
answer?
along too. If you want to.
Okay, okay. Okay, so here's the joke. I'm almost
All
six
right.
feet. You're
Yes. Oh
a little
no.
bit less.
I'm shorter, yes. But you're a tall lady. You're above average for
Okay,
sure.
so that's true. So so now that I preface it like that, what do you think I'm
Yes.
gonna say?
Oh my gosh. Could be
I like
anything.
to
I
eat
mean,
them
I
with
oh my
marinara
Lord.
sauce.
Oh yeah, you like
I
frying
like
them up, coconut shrimp? Okay. I kind of consider myself bigger than a
oh,
shrimp, but that's okay. That's all right. That's your perspective, and I can appreciate that. But back to the whole scenario of
you
giving
asked.
some parents some game. That's no problem. So, back in my
Okay.
experience as an athlete, I was specifically doing everything when I was young. I was doing the basketball, just like KC. I was doing badminton. I was doing soccer. My dad put me on pretty much every sport. And I was successful in most of them, not because I was actually skilled in basketball or soccer or, playing badminton and baseball. It was because I was able to move and be quick and be reactive. So, as I grew up and I did my thing with track specifically, I created this company because I felt, track and field is a sport that's not really on the television a lot and people don't have experience with it. So I wanted to bring that out a little bit more. But even more importantly, I wanted to show people the formal way of running. I wanted to technically create a sound approach to running, which will help athletes get better. And, in the last, let's say, 5 years of me doing this business, more and more you're seeing the evolution of sports really showcase how speed is so important. And, having conversations with other coaches who are in different sports, and whether they're, a coach for basketball, hockey, tennis, they're telling me, coach, I rather somebody who's faster than someone who's more skilled in the sport, because the skill can be taught. The speed is hard to obtain and develop once you get past a certain age. So you've seen a large amount of athletes and parents looking for speed now because it's indicative of success on the field.
And it's funny you say that, because right now that is, I mean, what's Casey, 6'7", 6'8", and
Yep.
he's
Taller
good
than
on
me.
court, and he's good all over the court. But it's taller than you, taller than me too.
Yes.
But
Right.
the one thing that he is missing is it's the quickness, it's the speed, and that's what
Right.
you were working with him right up before he left, and that's what they've been working on
Sure.
even now as he's away for school, is just to build that up, because once he builds that up,
Right.
and gets a little bit more muscle, even more than he has, he's going to be crazy. He's going to be crazy.
Yes.
And then I can attribute all of
Absolutely. I
that to
agree.
you, and to you, Coach Greg Sutton, and everybody down at Balboa, or at Balboa, for helping him to improve his quickness and his speed. Now,
Right.
So what is, when you think about it though,
Mhm.
and you start to say what you do for parents, do you find to investing in their child, or young adult, young teenager, to learn about the other aspects of it, like the whole speed and the quickness and the mechanics of running?
Right. So you cut out a little bit. I didn't catch the full question.
Oh,
You cut out a little bit.
okay. So for parents, what do you find that there's a hesitancy or
Mhm.
reluctancy from parents to actually invest
Mhm.
that extra time, money, effort in sending their
Mhm.
child to a coach like you for something that's not really related to their sport, but it is related to their
Right.
sport,
Right. So I'd say maybe in the first year to 1 to 2 years of my business, I had to explain, why someone like myself would be beneficial to having me in their life as far as a coach, mentoring them and getting them to a place of consistency with speed. But now they're coming to me because their coach is letting them know that this is what your kid is missing. Or unfortunately, kids are getting benched or they're getting cut from their team. It's not because they're not able to, you know, manipulate the ball on the soccer field, or they're not able to score as a hockey player. It's because they're not able to move quickly, or even more so, they don't have the stamina to keep up their speed. People are getting tired, out of shape. And I think you see this a lot due to what happened during COVID, right? A lot of kids, unfortunately, stayed inside. Some parents were really scared of the pandemic, so they didn't do anything. And now that things are opening up, you're really seeing the gap in the athleticism and the maturity of these kids developing physically. So I don't think I got to explain too much anymore. They're actually telling me why they need me. So, it's very interesting how things have kind of flipped.
Now, how has things, you bring up COVID, how has business been, or how has it changed since COVID for your business and for actually working with your clients?
Well, it's been pretty good. Definitely a couple years ago was a wild scenario for everybody, especially someone who was working with people in a close proximity. So seeing somebody and working with them in the same close space really changed the game. A few years ago, we had to adjust and do things online, but now everybody is a lot more comfortable being in person. And I'm seeing kids who are definitely out of shape and they don't have some of that athletic DNA you would learn when you're younger. And one of the things I'm also seeing is a lot of different cultures are getting into sports. Some cultures who I wouldn't see as predominant as I would see before. There's a lot more cultures getting involved, and it's great to see that everybody is seeing how being physical and taking care of your body is important. So those are two of the things I've noticed a lot.
All right. Now you're not only coaching young athletes and professional athletes as well, but you went through this whole journey. And I know there's a lot of parents that have kids and they have their kids and themselves have, big goals for their their athletic career in school and high school, and then to college, and then even beyond, right?
Right.
What advice or tips can you share to parents like myself
Hmm.
in preparing their kid, or even setting realistic expectations for what they need to be doing if they want to excel at a higher level?
Right, right. Well, that's a very thorough question. So I got to give you a very thorough answer.
You know me.
So different
Okay.
stages. I know. You ain't easy. You ain't easy. So there's different stages as a parent or a coach when you're looking at an athlete develop. So we can start with the first stage, which I would say is grade 1 to grade 4. Kids are very young at this point. They're being introduced to sports. Usually it's on a house league level, and you want to really focus on them having fun. And I encourage that sincerely. Let the kids have fun, let them find themselves, do any sport they want to do, put them in different things so their body's able to move and not be, you know, used to the same body movement. You want to have diversification when they're in grade school, especially grade 1 through 4. And as they get older and puberty starts to set in, grade 5 through 8, you start seeing a difference in talent levels for sure. Some kids are going to be developing quicker than others physically. They're taller, stronger, and some kids may be a little bit behind the ball in their development. And this is not a time for the parents to panic and not believe in their child and not encourage them, even though they're not winning a race or they're coming off the bench. This is a time to really work on developing their mindset, work on being positive and confident, because these are key elements that you're going to need for sure later on. And once the kids get into high school, I think that's when you got to start focusing on what sport have they seen success in, because prior to that, everyone's doing various sports. And if you're an athlete who does two sports at a high level, one sport's going to have to be on the back burner compared to the other sports. You got to choose which sport is your primary sport and work on pathways, define those pathways, and look at the end goal of what you can do with that sport. And obviously, we have various elements. You have people making Team Canada, Team Ontario, if you're obviously in Ontario. And there's obviously ways of getting scholarships. I know the prep school phenomenon is very big right now, and you know about that dearly. And there's obviously, post-secondary school, there's universities, there's colleges, there's scholarship scenarios. So you want to start creating a pathway and figuring out what way can your son or daughter reach success and plan it out. And you want to obviously invest in the sport. If you're a soccer player or a hockey player, you might want to find someone who's a strength coach. You want to find someone who might be, into speed like myself. Also, getting a psychologist to help with the mental aspect, because in this era, as you know, Laura, kids are kind of built different than our era, and kids need a lot of encouragement. They need to discuss their feelings and their emotions, and those are key elements I think that's going to help them. And, last but not least, parents, you don't want to get too involved because, being in the business for the last 10 years, I've seen, you know, extreme scenarios. Some parents who don't really care about what's happening with their kid in the sport. And you see parents who are trying to put on the track shoes or the skates and, lace up and be on the playing field with their kid. So parents got to learn and know when to step back, because their kids playing. Some parents for whatever reason. They want to live through their kids sometimes in their success. But you want to be able to put yourself in a position when you're supporting your child, but you don't want to overcrowd the situation and have issues with the coach or the team. Because I've seen things be really extreme in that circumstance. And you want to have an environment that's safe. You want to have an environment that's encouraging and friendly and obviously positive. So those are the things I always kind of tell the kids, the parents, make sure we're all on the same page. And yeah, it's the world is a lot of opportunities now. Kids can play professional when they're teenagers in Europe. They can do different things like scholarships. As far as school is not the end goal for certain households, so it all depends on what you want to do.
You're thank you for that. Thank you for that. There, you talk about parents stepping back a little bit, and it's so funny to. Well, it's not funny. It's funny but not funny to see some
Right.
far. I've seen parents bolt across the court because a play didn't go too well, or
Hmm.
parents cuss off referees and just act really silly, which doesn't help their child because everybody can see
Right.
and everybody know whose parent that is, and
Sure.
it just doesn't look good. So
It's not a good
I
look.
like that advice about backing off. You
Yes.
know, one other piece of advice that you gave that I'm going to play that video. I'm going to share that video sometime this week. You
Okay.
talked about. I'm going to share the video that we did 3 years ago when you
Okay.
talked about the children. You spoke to the kids about staying in school and not even just stay in school, but doing their schoolwork and why that is so important. And I bring that up because I want you to get again that this is something that parents need to be speaking to their child about from grade 8, grade 9, grade 10, because
Sure.
when they get to grade 12, and if things don't work out, they're limiting their options. You want to just speak to that just in case a parent might
Hmm.
want to show this to their child.
Yes. Yes. So not everybody's into school. Some kids are like, it's a hassle. It's annoying. Why I gotta be in school? School obviously is just important because it's going to help you develop great social systems and obviously you're going to learn. So these are things you want to be in school for, regardless of sports. But as far as utilizing and leveraging off school and the academics to move forward in a scholarship situation, your grades are very important. Essentially, once you were in high school, the colleges and universities from the US and even, Canada and abroad, they're looking at your grades from grade 9 through grade 11, grade 12. And you may not be the best athlete to get a full scholarship, but they're going to look at your grades and assess and say, you know what? It looks like Jason over here is a 60% scholarship athlete, but he needs more money to come to school. Let's look at his grades, and they'll see that he has a strong GPA and he's somebody who's involved in the community with his extracurricular activities. All those things will help compensate for the balance of difference between the 100% scholarship and the 60%. So they can close that gap with offering that child perhaps a 40% academic scholarship. And those are key things that the parents have to encourage the kids to understand and execute throughout their school days so they can work on building that profile and being an all around student athlete. And even a personal example is my son. My son is a very solid athlete, sprinter. He was at the time in high school, I would say top five, top four in Canada. And yet he wasn't able to get initially his first year of full scholarship. But we leveraged off his academic experience, his academic successes, and we were able to get almost close to a full scholarship his first year. So the academics came into, a great play and a great action plan for us at that point. And there's many other examples I can tell where academics help. So it's very important to keep the grades up. It's going to help you be a better person, obviously, and you can use it as a bargaining chip when you're speaking to schools.
Oh, great answer. Great answer. And
Mhm.
I needed to I needed to hear that. Even I needed to hear that.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I'm constantly talking to Casey about that. Now,
Right.
hold on. I have another question for you. Okay, Laura, your video is coming in and out, and I think I realize why. So hold on 1 second, Randy. Let me just.
Okay.
I hope I
Yeah.
don't lose you. I hope I don't
Okay.
lose you. Um, Save this because I just realized something is open, and I need to get it not open.
Okay. Okay.
Come on. Okay. Let's. I have another question. I'm going to see if it does close. Oh, hold on. There it
Okay.
is. Close the
Okay.
program.
Got it.
Okay, so maybe I'm going to have a bit more bandwidth now. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for that, Randy. I like that question about the tips for that. All right, now,
Sure.
and then one more thing. Tell once again. I know you said already that it's important, and I understand the importance now, which I didn't get it before. I really didn't get the whole having extra coaches in addition to the basketball coach to work with my son. But just
Right.
say one more time again so parents know. Why is it important for an athlete who doesn't do track and field to focus to they don't focus on running, but why is it important that they deal with a coach like you? Say it one more
Right.
time for all of my sports parents, friends.
Not a problem. Well, the better the runner, the better the athlete. That's my motto for running for your life. And running is the common denominator, I would say, for 90% of sports out there. You would be surprised that even golf players come and see me. And, golf, they don't really move around too much. They just swing, but they want to hit. Am I there? Can you see me?
I hear you. No,
Okay. Okay,
I see you
boom. You
now.
know what? A call was coming in. So that's why I
Okay,
had to. I told them I'll talk to them later. I hit ignore. So, anyways, even the
okay.
golf players I sometimes work with to work on their hips to get them open so they can swing more. So that's an example with someone who's in a stationary sport. But all the other sports, let's talk about 6 sports: baseball, soccer, basketball, hockey, football. What else can we say? Volleyball. All these sports, you got to be able to be mobile and move. And if you're a better runner, it's going to only enhance your gameplay. It's going to make you a lot more aggressive, more reactive, more explosive, more strong and stronger. And it's just going to create more athleticism for you. And that's what the coaches are looking for. They're not looking for someone who can do all the fancy moves with the basketball or the soccer ball, but when the ball's kicked to them, they can't get to it because they're slow. So being fast is key to being in a situation where you're going to be standing out and you're going to put yourself in a position to be very successful.
All right, all right. Now,
Okay.
I talk about, thank you for that. Thank you. Now, I talked about how we met and the
Okay.
fact that you're doing what very few other few coaches that I see, very few are doing about having a presence on all social media. And my favorite is LinkedIn. But
Right.
um, what I've lost my train of
It's
thought.
okay. That's
You, you,
okay.
you, your presence stands out a lot. You are where you you were where I was, and
Okay.
and I really appreciated the different videos that you would show of your athletes training and the hard work that they were doing, and then
Mhm.
the times when they'd win, and you were sharing that on LinkedIn. I'm
Sure.
I'm still waiting for you to start showing videos of yourself, but
Right.
hopefully from
Right.
this you get some good clips to start showcasing your right, speak in your game so
Yes.
people can see you. However,
Yeah.
I love it. I love what you're doing.
Right. Thank
Now,
you.
how does your business, like you're using social media a lot? How does it
Hmm.
stand out and how does it differ from everybody else that you're seeing, what makes you so different? What makes Coach Randy different as far as using social media to grow your business? Drop some game on that.
All right, not a problem. Well, that's a point that I know is out there. A lot of coaches and just anyone who's on social media for their business, they really focus on themselves. And I like focusing on, let's just say, the athletes, because that's the bottom line. That's why people are going to come to me, whether I talk about various muscular scenarios or skeleton scenarios or concepts in track. I think seeing the athletes and them being happy, their successes, even some of their losses, we showcase and we show that it's a supportive community. The athletes are in an environment that they're happy to be in, and there's definitely real successes. There's definitely successes where kids get better, and there's times when kids are not getting better. And we go over all those realities to explain why these things are happening. And everyone catches a vibe as well, right? We're all energy, we're built from energy. And, I think I have some good energy and people can see that and they connect with me and see that this is something that is a passion. I've lived a life as an athlete. I went to UCLA, which is a great school in California, and I was able to establish myself in Canada when I was a runner with success. And it's always good to be with someone who's done it before. And there's definitely a lot of experience with me and the other coaches who I work with. They've all done really well with their own specific sports. So it's a great company to be connected to. And we're all about athletes first. We don't get into the politics of XYZ. Our main concern is athletes getting better and putting them in a position that they can be successful at. And that's what I showcase on social media. And I think people can see that.
Great. And again, I have to say thank you for being on social. I have this on LinkedIn in specifically because I know when I go on a few other platforms, all that comes up are basketball trainers. So there are tons of different basketball trainers talking
Yeah,
about every aspect of the game. And it's all good because I like watching them and learning. But then when I come to LinkedIn, which is where I spend the majority of my time, there's nobody there. And there's so many people to choose from on the other platforms that if one or two of them were on LinkedIn, they would have my captive attention to,
right.
to get the extra help that I need for my sons. So hats off to you for being on LinkedIn and to just letting people see a little bit about what you do there and how you help our kids.
Right.
Now, what past experience that you've had, what has helped you to remain successful? Because you said you're doing this, what, 10 years now? So
Yeah,
what
10
are some of
years.
the past experiences that have really helped you and kept you successful?
Well, being obviously an athlete has helped me understand what athletes go through, mentally, physically, and just being in their shoes, so to speak. So that is very key, experience in the actual sport that I coach. And obviously, we're all multi-dimensional people. So I've done other things. I was a financial advisor at one point in my life. So just understanding the business side of things and what's needed to plan, execute budgets, things of that nature to keep the business going. And one of the things that I'm, proud to be part of in my past was I was actually in a hip hop group called Brass Monk. And, we did a lot of marketing for ourselves. We ran our own label. We were signed to a major label in Canada, but we had an imprint deal, distribution deal. So we did a lot of the footwork ourselves. And some of the marketing avenues that I use right now is part of what I used to do with my music group. And these are the things that help me keep fresh as well. You don't want to be doing the same thing and become mundane. You want to be on the cutting edge of what the young people are into. And I'm still connected to hip hop very deeply and it's evolving. It's sometimes a young person's genre. So it helps me to continue to grow creatively, keeping my mind out there and imagine and get things going and let those fluids flow. so I can keep the business fresh. And I think I've been able to do that, and the younger athletes can connect with me in those terms.
Okay, all right. Now, two things stick out to me when you said that. First of all, when I think about hip hop, I think about Sugar Hill Gang going way back in the 70s. And it's
Right.
a lot different now than it was then, right?
It is.
Um, and it is. And then the second thing, it'll come back to me. It'll come back to me.
That's okay.
It'll,
Let it come back. Let
yeah,
it escape or let it come
whenever
back.
it
It's
does.
okay. Either way.
All right. All right. So now I have a question for you.
Sure.
What Before we wrap up, I want to find out what game or what other tips would you have? And two part, because it's all about helping our oh no, I remember what I was going to say.
Okay.
One of the things that I like, you said you were in rap, or you had a rap group, you were in financial planning, or
Yeah.
so you had other things, and part of really, I like the fact that you were able to take what you did in a different industry and use it to what you're doing now.
Yeah.
And that's something that a lot of people can take, instead of just looking at what does everybody do in my industry. If everybody in my industries says that you have to be on Instagram, maybe take it from somebody else that says you could be on another platform. And
Sure.
if everybody's saying that um, you have to do webinars, then maybe you can do a live in-person event. If you take it from what are other industries doing and find out what's working, and then take the best of that and use it in
Right.
your own marketing plan, then you're going to definitely stand out. And I think what you're doing, even just by being on LinkedIn, you're taking a page from someplace else, because everybody else in your industry is saying be on one or two different platforms, and you're choosing to be somewhere where there's not a lot of competition. And so that's
Right.
something that we can all learn, no matter what industry that we're in. We can learn
Yeah.
from other industries, take our past experiences, and then use it to where we are now. That's what I was going to
Yeah.
say.
That sounds good. Good job.
Now, all right. Now,
Mhm.
two things before we wrap up. I want you to give just a couple of points kind of on that note. We're here because we want to build up our communities and help other
Right.
people. And I always think collaboration over competition.
Yeah.
So that being said, what advice or what tips or strategies, what can you share to your fellow coaches, maybe not running, but running, basketball, other sports coaches, trainers, that they can use to better their marketing game? And
Hmm.
then what final tips do you have for parents or students that maybe you didn't say before, but something that would help them as they continue their journey on this whole athlete's journey? So two of those.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, the first question you're asking, I think it's amazing that we're able to communicate and collaborate with other coaches. And it doesn't have to be only in track and field. Like I've been able to create great relationships with athletes and coaches who do soccer, tennis and all these things. So what I've been able to do is just create a communication, create like a group that I have where we just share information, we share data, we share what's happening in their particular sport. And it may not be happening in mine, but it's information that I can use where I can make adjustments or I can do something different in my sport. So I think sharing information, whether it's new ways of training, um, experiences from their own athletes and any issues they're going through, whether it's injury or success, that just keeps everybody constantly learning. Learning is important, always upgrading. You don't want to stay stagnant. So those are things that I've been able to do with other coaches, and we collaborate, and they know that I'm open to listen and to talk and share information, and that allows them to refer people to myself, vice versa, because nobody is an island. We're all able to do our own thing, but I'm not a specialist in golf. I'm not a specialist in, somebody who does fencing. But all those things, there's specialists out there. So if we are able to collaborate and have those different sources, we can create something very special. Now, as far as a couple points
All
for the
right.
parents and
And as for
athletes,
the parents,
yeah, moving forward, make sure you connect yourself with a prevention health practitioner, meaning a masseuse, meaning a chiropractor, physiotherapist, osteopath. Have somebody who you're comfortable with and create a pre-injury or a prevention plan so you're not going to see them when you're hurt. You're going to see them to stop getting hurt because, as we say, prevention is better than cure. And I think that's important. Injuries can decimate an athlete's life. And, I ended my career on a terrible hamstring tear. So I'm very, sympathetic, empathetic to anyone who has an injury, and you want to avoid them at all costs.
oh, wow. Okay. Great, great final tips. I appreciate that. And I'm sure that everyone who's tuning in now that has a child or a young adult, or maybe they are an elite athlete themselves, can actually take that. So thank you for sharing that.
No
Now,
problem.
how can people get a hold of you, Randy?
Okay, you can hit me up on the website world, runningforyourlife.ca, and instead of the word FOR4, it's the number 4, runningforyourlife.ca. You can contact me through the gazelles.ca website. I'm on Twitter, or maybe it's called X. I'm not too sure if it's called Twitter anymore. I know they changed the logo, but we have Instagram, we got LinkedIn, Facebook. So I'm around. You can call me too. My phone number is out there. So easy ways to contact me. Always, looking to meet new people and work with athletes. So hoping to hear from everybody and hope everybody's having a great day. And we want to thank Laura for being the LinkedIn queen because I know that's what she does. And she does a lot of exposures to different professionals online. And we appreciate your energy.
Thanks so much, Randy. You know what? What's so funny is
Mm-hmm.
it was a year ago that we did our Feel Good Friday dance, and it popped up on my memories. It was a year ago, like 3 days ago or something to that effect. So it was good. It's time for us to do another one. And
Oh, yeah, let's do
Deanna,
it.
what's happening, Deanna? Yeah, Deanna's saying, "Hey, you're everywhere." So she sees you. Deanna Anderson sees you all over the place
Okay.
because you are all over the place. That's so good. All
Hey,
right.
we got to get around.
So we do. So Randy, it's been a pleasure having you here, and I want to see you pretty soon. And Kendall, he'll be back up, and then he'll see you in the off time, and
Awesome.
we'll talk. So everybody,
Amazing.
show Randy some love. Connect with him on all the platforms, and we'll talk. All right.
All right. Thanks for the opportunity.
Okay.
Peace.
No problem. Peace. All right. So now, wasn't that just an amazing interview? It was so nice having Randy here. Randy, he's done my both sons. Now my older son plays basketball, but my younger one, he's a musician now. It's so important for us to have him exercising and getting fit. And so I had both of them going to Randy, and Randy's really good with young kids that have special needs. My son has autism, and Randy, very patient, he worked well with him. If you have a child that is on the spectrum or that has other special needs and that needs that extra little attention, or wants a place where they can still get fit and work out and learn and to enjoy the joy of running, then you definitely need to connect with him. All right? Definitely, definitely, definitely. Okay. Now, on that note, okay, the sucky thing is that I got this call, but I'm not taking it. I'm going to do the same thing that Randy did. Call me back. Call me back. Call me back. Okay. I think it's going to be time for me to wrap up, though. And why it's time for me to wrap up? It's time because I have some other things to get done, and I don't want to keep you here forever. And my guest was here. He dropped some game, and he's gone. And so now I'm going to get prepared for my game for the rest of the week because I have some amazing guests that are going to be on the Let's Get Visible live stream, including Deanna Anderson. Deanna's going to be here on Wednesday. Wellness warrior, essential oils educator. If you have an interest in keeping well and keeping fit, and the whole thing about oils and how you can use oils to help your body, to help yourself. It's just going to be amazing. We'll have a great chat with Deanna. Also we have Helen X. Went to her event last week, Once Upon a Woman. She's starting a women's movement. She talks about aging gracefully and embracing your body and your life where you are. And the event last week was great. She's going to be here talking tomorrow. And then Wednesday's Deanna. And then Thursday I have Sherry Gabriel, master networker. She's a lifestyler. She does so many different things. I don't know how to keep up with her. She's an amazing woman, and she's going to talk about increasing your visibility by networking and all the things that she does to really grow a great, strong community. And it's going to be fantastic. I hope you tune in for all of our posts or all of our times. Comment, let me know if you are, ask any questions, and join us tomorrow. I'm going to be doing 4 draws tomorrow for everybody who's commented, and hopefully you'll be the winner of our $200 hotel savings card. And I think that's about it for now. I've had fun. My heart is full. Now I've got to get working on my So You Still Want to Write a Book workshop. I'm going to get some work done about that. And until I see you tomorrow, I want you to take care. Mark, thanks for tuning in. Deanna, thanks for tuning in. Yes. We're going to be with you on Wednesday. And on that note, I say, let's get visible. I want to get visible. And I'm out as soon as I get to the end of stream button to turn this off.